Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Glorious Life on Wheels. Whoo, what a week. It is warm out here. I am in Southern California, but a little east, actually quite a bit east. I'm not on the coast. So it's very toasty where I am. Who is in here today? Let me check and see. Hey, Marta, you're number one in here today, one of my moderators, fabulous moderators. Nora is in the house. Oh my goodness, another great moderator. Three generations. Hey, Iris, how are you doing? And Carol Rivers, a member, is here. Hey, Liddell, I am so happy to see you. Missed you last week or so. And I've been praying for you. I am here visiting little Mowgli. I took him to get his shots. I have to do some traveling towards the end of the month, brief, but I don't want to kennel him, so he's going to stay here until I come back. But he was due for his first round of shots, so I came and picked him up and took him to get his shots. And then I got him some deworming, got his microchip in, and also a bordetella, just in case he happens to be around other dogs, which I don't plan on him being, except for his mom and his family. But and apparently they have to go get another series of shots every 3 weeks, 3 more sets of shots every 3 weeks, and then he'll have all of his shots completed and he can get a rabies shot. But he can't get a rabies shot until he's 4 months old, they're telling me. So yeah, I tell you, it's a lot going on here. So who else is in the house? Hey, Vaughn's on a roll. Another great moderator's in the house. Carol Rivers, another member. Vaughn's, did I say Vaughn's? Vaughn's is in the house. Patty, hey, Patty, how's it going? And Muskegee Land, hey there. Oh my goodness. Catherine, fabulous 60s. Hey, guys. Oh, my goodness. I have an interesting topic I want to talk with you about today. I have a video that I may put it up today, but I probably will wait to do it on Monday. I'm starting a series. I have a couple of series I'm going to be doing, but what is on seniors and our role in America and how we've been displaced and how the respect that elders used to have, we no longer have. And Monday, if I don't put the video up today, but Monday, I'm going to talk about that and some of the reasons why that has happened, some of the reasons I think why it's happened, but also some of the reasons that studies that have been done show that it has happened. And I'm going to give some specific examples in the video. And I'm pretty sure at this point I'm going to do it on Monday, but I will do some specific examples of how it looks and areas that the disrespect is the highest in. And I'm just, as a preview today, I wanted to talk with you, and we'll get back to it. I wanted to greet everyone, but I wanted to talk with you about things that you have experienced personally. Have you seen the change? I know I'm a 50s baby. So back in the 50s, 60s, even 70s, there was just a level of respect that was given to elders and to seniors by younger people. I don't see that now. I don't see it at all. I see 3 and 4 year olds, calling 70-year-olds by their first name. I just see so many things, and the way seniors, even that are helping, seniors that are being helped at grocery stores are talked to, or in fast food restaurants, how they're talked to by the staff so often, and just such a level of disrespect. So I wanted to talk about that today, but let me say hello to a few more people. Hey, one of the holy, my sister in love is here. And stay tuned till the end of this live, because I'm going to give you a glimpse of Mowgli. He is in the house. Mowgli is in the house. He was everywhere we went. I took him into the grocery store with me, of course, under my arm. I didn't put him in the basket. And just walking across the parking lot, everyone wants to run up and say, hi, oh, how cute he is. And even when he got his shots, they were like, we're not giving him up. We're not giving him back to you. Everyone just loves Mowgli. And oh, you do, what's titters? What's titters after initial vaccines? Catherine said, what is titters? I don't know what that is. Mowgli and his mom, they actually play together, but she's a little rough with him, actually, tell you the truth. But he's always trying to go up under her, still grabbing her nipples to feed, even though he's now been transferred onto regular food mixed with formula. But he's still, every time he sees her, he's trying to grab on and latch on. And she's like, no, I'm done with you. Who else is here? Hey, Enoch, hello. I tried calling you quite a while back, but I will try again. Enoch is the person who was my extraordinary editor, videographer, whatever you want to call everything. He did everything extraordinaire, who was with me at the very start of my channel and helped me get launched. Oh my goodness, those were the days. Good, so good and wonderful to see you, Enoch. If anyone needs any editing or anything like that, Enoch's the man. He is the man, I'm telling you. Everyone's saying hello to everyone. Hey, Donald's in the house. My brother Donald is in the house. Hello. Let's see who else is here. Anyone that I haven't said hello to. I think I've said, hey, Lindy is here. Lindy, go over and check out. Lindy was interviewed by, what's the name of, oh goodness. The others, oh boy. Okay, I'm going to have to, Lindy, could you please put up the name of the video channel, the YouTube channel that interviewed you? But a channel that has like millions and millions of subscribers interviewed Lindy, and that interview aired on Friday. So go over and check that out. It was Lindy shared some very, very personal things, and that I don't think many of you know about Lindy. And she really got down into the weeds talking about her childhood and some other things. Whew, what an interesting life, I think it's called The White Side of the Underbelly. Let me look and see here. I'm not good with names, but I think it's called the of the let's see. My phone here, for whatever reason, it's called The Soft White Underbelly. Soft white. Can someone drop that link down, and maybe even drop a link to the video that Lindy is in? It aired on Friday, and I think it'll go to 1 million views. It's very, very, very interesting. But it's called The Soft White Underbelly YouTube channel. And if one of my moderators would be so kind to drop that link, I'd really appreciate it. But Iris says, have you considered the lack of health care, especially for seniors? Yeah. Char, you're being a little too rough. You know what? Let me grab him real quick. You want to come up here and say hi, Mowgli? You want to come up and say hi? Okay, here he is. Here's the little fella that got his shot today. He still has that puppy breath. Oh, no, you're not going to eat my earring. You can smell his puppy breath on him. Is he just too cute? He's too cute for words. Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, the lack of health care, the expense of health care. Like I was talking last week, I was so excited when I turned 65. I thought, oh, my gosh, I'm going to get Medicare, and I'm going to get up from under this huge bill for health insurance, medical insurance. I'm paying a fortune. I'm paying a fortune for the Medicare and, Part D, Part Z, Part L, whatever, and the supplement. It's really quite expensive. It's not cheap. So, oh boy. But Catherine says, test to see if you have enough antibodies to fight parvo so you don't over vaccine. How do you do that? Oh, is that the test that you're talking about? Catherine, is that what titters are, the test? I haven't heard of that, but I'll look it up. But yeah, I don't want to over vaccine, that's for sure, and overload his little system. Yes, yes, yes. He's getting used to me because I do visit him. So he's getting used to me. But yes, here, come on. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah. You see how calm he is? He is pretty calm and pretty mellow. But everyone's saying hello to Lindy. Patty is saying 72 here. I was very close with my grandmother and never would even think of being disrespectful. And my kids, homeschooled, were very respectful of elderly and even worked for them at the Y. Yeah, but that is not the case these days. Oh, come here. Here, let me show you. Here's hold on, I'm gonna show you. Here's his mommy. Oh, let me see if you can see his mommy. Hold on. She got a haircut. You can see she's got scalped, but she's got a haircut and she's up here looking for her baby. She plays rough with him though. So I have him up here for a little while. But yeah. I got your little one because you were just being a little bit rough and ready. He's still kind of little for you to be playing so rough with him. But you want to go get your toys? She usually goes and gets her toys and brings them all in here for me to throw. But let me put him down. Okay, I'll put you down. See if you are you big enough to deal with her yet? Okay, let me put you down. Char, you need to be gentle with the baby. Gentle. But anyhow, I'm going to pet her for a while and keep her here. Thank you, Vaughn. Yes, soft white underbelly. So 3 generations. Iris said, Lindy, great interview, and you looked marvelous. Yeah, she did look great, didn't she? Oh my goodness. Nora says, hi, Lindy. I saw part of your interview with soft underbelly. So many stories in your life. Yes, she told all kinds of stories about numerous experiences, and very interesting that, some were actually terrifying. Some were sad. Some were, but overall, the feeling of still being grateful, feeling blessed, and hopeful of the future. I think at one point in the interview, she said, there's always tomorrow. And I thought, what a model to have. There's always tomorrow. I may have to steal that, Lindy. I'll give you credit for it, but I may still steal it. But always tomorrow. I love that. I absolutely love that. And if you can think like that, it really helps you, I think, to get through the difficult times. But let me just say hello to a few more people. Clark says, not broadcasting from the Wheel Estate. No, not broadcasting from the Wheel Estate today. Hey, Stella Wonders and Wanders, just came in from walking the dog. Hi, all. Hello. Marta says, after a titter test is a blood test that measures the presence and absence level of specific antibiotics. Okay, thank you, Marta. I had never heard of that before. Don says, I've watched a few of those interviews, Vaughn. Very interesting. Yeah, some of them are very graphic. Some of them are a little too much for me, but all of them are interesting and compelling, I would say. And apparently he interviews a lot of people, but he doesn't air all the interviews. He only airs the ones that are the most compelling. So Lindy's made the cut as being very compelling because he not only aired it, but he aired it very shortly after interviewing her. He didn't wait for a long time like a lot of channels do. So that says a lot about what he thought about her interview. Patty says, Vaughn says, oh, Patty, I grew up and was raised for years by my grandparents since they live across the street. Yeah, you can tell often a adult child who is raised by grandparents because they just have more, I don't know, they seem to be more settled, more mature. And I guess it's because of being around older people, they have more of a stillness in them, That's what I've noticed at any rate, or even by being raised by older parents, I think. Thank you, Vaughn. Thank you very much for dropping that link. Hello. Do you want me to just leave him in here? I didn't know where to put him. So I put him, she plays kind of rough with him. She's, because he's yelping over there. I had to go get him and tell her to calm down. But then he runs right behind her, and he jumps on her. So she's like, he's so adorable though. But anyhow, hey, Anna Marie, Creative Corner. Hello. I know, Catherine, he's adorable. I know, Nora, he's got so big. He's a little chunker, isn't he? He's just a little chunker. Hey, Nisi Young, hello, how are you? See, that's what I'm talking about. You must have been around some older folks saying Miss Carol. That's not the norm. I mean, that's what Jess does because I've trained her that way. And, she knows that anyone, even maybe 10 years older than her, she's going to call them Miss so-and-so or Mr. so-and-so. But I think those things are not taught anymore. That's one of the things, just not taught. Everyone's saying hello. Clark says he looks like a stiff bear. He does, doesn't he? Lindy says, I am so grateful for VA. Oh, I tell you, that is a blessing. Isn't that a blessing? Who knew? Did you even have any clue when you were in it as a WAC, Lindy, that this would be such a blessing so many years later? Because at that point, it wasn't like you didn't have to cut off an arm or sell an organ to get medical care like you do now. Anna Marie saying hello. Melody says alternative healthcare is better. Modern medicine only manages decline. In some cases, yes, I would absolutely agree with that, Melody. Fabulous Catherine Fabulous 60 says, well, not cheap, but I don't allow certain vaccines anyhow. Interesting. Okay. I know. Thank you, Marie. He is gorgeous, isn't he? Tighter. Oh, okay, Marta. Tighter. Okay. Thank you. Catherine says, sorry, can't type. Neither can I, Catherine. Neither can I. He is, Anna Marie. He's just a doll. Everyone's saying hello. Hey, Jackie McDonald, how are you doing? Good to see you in the house. We still haven't got together, but we need to. Vaughn asked Lindy, when did you do this podcast? It was about 3 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, Lindy? I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it aired on the 13th, which was yesterday. So it aired yesterday. So go over and see it, Soft White Underbelly, and give it a thumbs up so he'll know that you guys like that, liked her content. Lisa R says, Lindy was wonderful on Soft White Underbelly. Great. Also, your puppy is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Lindy says she was interviewed on February 25th. Yeah, so he put that up fast. If you look at him, he puts up videos almost every day. So he's got loads of content. So for him to put that up so soon says a lot, really. Thanks, Lindy. Thanks. He'll have to meet Marley. They'll have to play together once he gets all his shots. Rose Grace said the interview was wonderful and there were so many comments. Yes, there were a lot of comments. I saw that. Vaughn says, got it, Lindy. Nora says, Lindy, I'm curious how he met you or found you. CW Style, hey, CW Style, how's it going? Hey, Graham says, good day from Woolloomooloo. I don't know how to say that. But anyhow, everyone's saying hello to everyone. Lindy said, go on his site and he asks for interviews. You send him your story. He decides who he wants to interview. There you have it, Vaughn. There you have it. Sylvie says, yay, Globies. Hello, everybody. Hey, Sylvie. Muskie Land says, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Absolutely. That's how I was raised, you know. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No. Yes, absolutely. Hey, Melody. How are you? Everyone's still saying, Honora says, oh, Lindy, I'm not interested in being interviewed. Was just curious on how your paths crossed. Thank you, Nora. Yes. Thumbs up, everyone. Please, let's do thumbs up. Graham says, a new channel for fellow Globies is check out Never Too Old to Travel Australia. It's an 83-year-old who's about to set out on his lap of Australia. Okay, guys, go over and check out Never Too Old to Travel Australia. That should be interesting. An 83-year-old going out and traveling on a journey across Australia. I would be interested in that. Hey, Denise, how are you? Lindy says the comments were so very kind. I was very scared. Well, it turned out beautifully. So obviously there was no need to be scared because it turned out great. Luna says, Lindy, your hair looks so precious in that interview. Love it. Nora says, Lindy, everyone went crazy for your gorgeous eyes. They did. A lot of people said that, didn't they? Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Catherine. Yes, hit those like. It helps. I don't know why, but it does. Miss Net said, sorry I'm late saying hello to the greatest YouTube family. I agree. One of my other fabulous moderators, Miss Net. This is the most fabulous, the greatest YouTube family. We look out for each other. We notice when our peeps are not here. We pray for each other. We just, just a supportive group, very supportive group. And I'm so blessed to have you. Lindy says, my hairstyle is old-fashioned and I need to dress better. Hey, you look fine according to everyone that was in the comments, Lindy. So I think however you want to dress, people are okay with it. Carol River says, even a thank you now and then would be nice. Yeah, wouldn't it be? But doesn't seem like that's the case often with these young folks. This expectation. Hey, Luna Batty. Hello. Al Teresa. Hello. I'm sorry I'm late as well. Hey, as long as you get in here. I know, Vaughn, I've been wondering where Randy Bailey is too. I'm a little worried about him because he was under the weather and had been experiencing some challenges last time he was in, and I'm certainly hoping that he's okay. So just hold him up in prayer, everyone, that Randy's okay. I'm a little concerned, and just the best thing we can do for him is pray for him. So just include him and add him to your prayers, would you? He's one of our dear family members in Glow, in Globies. But on to the topic at hand, which is, have any of you, I was looking at, is doing research for the video that I'm almost certainly going to post Monday now. It was saying that 90% of seniors experience some form of disrespect on a regular basis. And I was wondering, how many of you have that as your experience? Now, it may not be really overt, like someone calling you a name or doing something like that, but it may be just people, being very impatient with you and acting like you're dumb or treating you like you're dumb. Have you ever had people just almost, they don't say it, but it's almost like they're going, there, dear, Now they're there. You just sit over there and let the people who are competent and know what they're doing handling it. You just sit over there and we'll take care of it. I mean, that condescending kind of attitude, like you're foolish, or because you're a certain age, you're a doddering nincompoop. I mean, how many of you have experienced that, or have experienced people who just assume because of your age that you don't know certain things, or you can't handle certain things, or that you need someone looking over you? And sometimes that attitude comes from our very family members who think that we're no longer they no longer think we're competent and think that they need to take over our affairs. How many of you have experienced that at some level? Or on a job where younger people kind of treat you like the doddering idiot, I'm just wondering. Oh, Don says, I saw Randy last week, but have not seen him tonight. Okay. Yes, Randy was ill. I wonder how he's doing. I do too. Martin says, too many see us as invisible. I think one of the biggest forms of disrespect is not simply overt disrespect, but it's treating you like you're insignificant and you don't even exist. Like your opinions, your thoughts are like you are insignificant and they're insignificant. You're little and you need to be cast aside because you don't even matter. They just walk by you like you're a speck on the wall or something. Yes, Marta. That's one of the things I think that is so blatant about being older, Or they just hear you, they hear what you've said, but they don't take it in. It's just they just pass it by and ignore you, or just try and poo-pah on what you say, like, okay, whatever, whatever. But no, it's not whatever. If I have something to say and it matters and it counts and I want it heard. But how many of you feel that way? Teresa said, saying hi to everyone. Great to be here. Lindy says, true, we are invisible and we don't know what we're talking about. Yes. I mean, here's the thing. You have some little wet behind the ears, can't even wipe their behind, excuse my language, person at a checkout who you're asking for something, you're telling them that you need a certain thing and it's for certain, and they're trying to tell you, they're looking at you like, whatever, you don't know what you're talking about. And and I'm thinking, I wasn't going to say it, but more times than you are old in years, and the idea that you're going to sit there and look at me like you're just basically out of the womb and you know more than I know. That it's just, yeah. Hold on just a second. Liz, can you do me a favor? Could you put some cold water in here? Thank you. But yeah, I agree. Hey, Sandra Johnson. Hello. Carol says it's their loss when they don't respect us. Let's see. Nora says, I haven't experienced that condescending behavior, at least not yet. You're very fortunate, Nora, because it's so rampant. Thank you, Liz. It's so rampant. Marna says, they rush past you going into the store. They see you struggling and don't offer to help. Yeah, I was in, where was it? Costco last week. And those big, giant gallon sizes of water, they come like 6 in a thing and they're piled real high. Well, I'm standing there trying to get one off and they weigh 8 what is it? A gallon of water is 8 pounds. So there's 6 of those in there. So that's what, 48 pounds. So I'm trying to pull this down. And all of these young people, young men, they see me and they're walking by. Not one says, can I help you? I mean, there's a big, some of them big buff. So finally I had to go over to around to the back to the, where they were kind of near the back area, because it's on the side of the store, and asked one of the workers, I said, would you mind coming over? And he goes, sure, absolutely. But they didn't see me. But all the people that saw me, not one stopped and said, can I help you? Can I help you get it in you? Now, I have had people say that, but just as often, I've had people not say anything. Now, the workers in the store will usually ask, but it's like if someone sees it, like they're not, I'm not a worker, I don't work here, it's not my responsibility, I'm not going to help her. I'm like, that is just so the last few decades. Years ago, anyone walking by, even another woman, a younger woman, would have said, can I help you? But you know, it's, what can you say, you know? Nisi says, that's how my mama raised me. Oh yeah, being polite and saying, yes, ma'am, absolutely. Carol Rivers says, it's their loss when they don't respect our life experience and wisdom. It really is, because there's so much we could pour in that could maybe help avoid huge mistakes. Absolutely. Sandra Johnson says, hi, Carol and everyone. Snowflakes here in Libertyville, Illinois. Oh, really? Oh, my goodness. I have a friend that's in Vernon Hills. So that's right down the street from you. So they're experiencing snow too. I'll have to give them a call. Nisi says, and my daughter, who's 23 years old, has also been taught that you never address older people by their first name. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Vaughn's on a roll says, I know someone that had an aunt who is special needs, and the nieces and nephews would make fun of her until she cried. Oh my goodness. And the parents didn't care, but my friends would always stick up for her. Sickening. Wow, that's terrible. And the parents didn't correct them? Oh my goodness. Wow. Lindy says, I just don't put up with invisible anymore. I'm standing up and fighting back. Amen. I think that's what you have to do. You have to say, hey, I am here, and you're going to pay attention. Absolutely. When you go in places, I absolutely agree. Lisa says, my two oldest have abandoned me. I'm so sorry to hear that, Lisa. My two youngest treat me normal. I'm 63. All my kids are adults. You know, Lisa, your story is not uncommon. There are so many adult children. And that's one of the things I'm going to talk about in the video coming up. I'm going to touch on that a little bit, but I'm going to talk more about why there's that absence of connection between in families, why younger and older people, maybe grandparents and grandchildren, don't have the bonds that they used to have. And that impacts the way that they see other old people, you know, our older people, our seniors. If they have a relationship with their grandparents, then they tend to have more respect for other older people. But I'm going to delve into that Monday. So do check. I'm going to try and get it up by 1 o'clock is my time I'm planning to post it. 1 o'clock on Monday. So do check that out, because I think it's going to be a very important video. More than want to admit. Yes, Marie, yes. And Teresa says, I personally donate used to quality low-income people for Obama phone. I do dress poorly. However, I own outright 2 homes. One lady is a renter in Carmel, assumed I was poor, needed to be. Oh, wow. You know, I'll tell you one thing about us older folks. We don't really, most of us, now there are some who still are kind of immature, but we don't need to flaunt. If we have some assets, we don't need, you know, I drive the car, 2 vehicles that I drive are 17, 18 years old. Those are the primary vehicles that I drive. And I could afford to get a newer vehicle, but I don't need it. You know, why put that much money into something that's going to decline in value if I have something that works for me, you know? But a lot of people, here's what I know: someone who drives a Mercedes and they live in a run down, low income apartment. Now, tell me how that makes sense, because I don't get it. You could take that money and put it into buying a condo or put it in the stock market, but instead you want to have a nice car, so when you drive around, I guess you feel like people are looking at you and thinking, wow, they're driving this or driving that. People who don't even know, don't even care about you, wouldn't, you know what, on you if you were on fire, and yet you want to impress people who could care less about you. I don't get that. But you know, what can I say? Uh, um, Muskegee Land says Gen Z gets on my nerves. Thank you, Lori Titers. Okay, thank you. Muskegee Land says, I'm 58. I know a little bit. Yes, we do. We do. This net says, Lindy, your interview was so inspiring. Even before I watched the video, I started screaming, that's Lindy. I know. I think everyone, when I actually went on, it came across my screen before I actually went searching for it. That's how or was it that Lindy, you also sent out a notice that it was up. I don't know whether it was your notice or whether I saw it, but anyhow, I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, there she is. There she is. I was so excited to see Lindy up there. Oh my goodness. Patty Wine says, laughing out loud, those of us who have raised teenagers in our older years. Yeah, I was 50 when I adopted my daughter. So yeah, my youngest was born when I was 40. Go from being thought of as clueless by kids to being ignored as an elder. Yeah. But I did hear, this saying, someone was laughing. They said, it's amazing how smart my parents got when I became older, when I got older. So some kids do recognize that, but not all do. I don't know if mine ever will, quite frankly, but we'll see. Vaughn's on a roll says, Miss Net, laughing out loud, thought the same thing. That's Lindy. Yep. Lindy says, thank you, Miss Net. Thanks, everyone, for all your kind words. Teresa says, hello, viewers. Let's top the like button, please. Thank you in advance. Yes, top it. Every single one who's in here, go hit that like button. I want it to be just bombarded. Hey there, bed burner chick. Hello, Carol and Globies. I made the live. You did. I'm glad you made it, Brenda. Catherine's fabulous 60 set vet burner chick. Hello. Lindy's asking Brenda, how is your dog? And hey, Sheila, I almost forgot. Better late than never. Absolutely. As long as you make it, that doesn't matter when. Hi, Carol, Jess, and everyone tonight. Hello. How is Lulu's not live, Lulu's meetup going? I'm betting it's a lot of fun. A lot of people. From what I hear, they always book up solid. So I bet you have had a wonderful time there. Sylvie says, the hair stands up my arm whenever I hear someone say they are waiting for their grandparent or old uncle to die. What? Can you imagine someone saying that? And I have heard that more than a couple of times from different people. Wow. Hopefully those people who they're waiting to die hear that and change their wills, I would hope. Can you imagine someone being that callous and cruel and insensitive? Patty says, Vaughn, my kids would not have seen the light of day if they had done that to anyone. I know. Now you got kids calling police on their parents. What a saying with in our community when I was growing up was, we're taking care of you and dealing with you now. If the police would ever say anything, they're saying, we're dealing with him so you don't have to shoot him 10 years down the road. And that I agree. Everyone's saying hello to everyone. Teresa is saying Muskegee Land. Funny comment on Gen Z. I agree. Now, what is Gen Z? What ages are Gen Z? Let me look and see. Can anyone tell me what ages Gen Z is? Let's see. What ages fall into Gen Z currently? So Gen Z are roughly 14 to 29. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They know everything, don't they? They know everything. But they're going to have such different experiences than we have. And they're not going to be able to communicate because they text all the time. So they're not going to know they won't be able to read body language. They won't be able to know how to navigate in social settings because they're online all the time. So I just wonder how this constant online is going to impact and play out in relationships later. I can't see it being a positive outcome. I really can't. Everyone's saying hello to CW Style. Vaughn says, Patty, exactly. Did you ever see the video of the child who made fun of the classroom that lost her hair from cancer? Wasn't there one and didn't the parent shave their head or something? There was a kid who I did see the one. I was team dad on this. There was a video of a dad whose daughter was really acting out on the school bus, getting into fights and stuff. So he made her walk to school and back, and he drove alongside of her as she walked to school, and he drove alongside of her as she walked home. And I don't know, he made her do that for a while. But I'll tell you what, when she got back on the bus, her mind was right. She knew she didn't act a fool anymore, and she was bullying some kids or something. And yeah, but parents don't seem to have the guts to do those kind of things anymore. They just don't have. A lot of parents are just don't have the guts. I don't know. But yes, my goddaughter Liz says her kids are good. They are. Your kids are good. They do. Her kids say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. When I ask them a question, no, ma'am, or yes, ma'am, or I'll do that, ma'am, or when I come up and I have a package or something, they'll say, can I come help you get it to the car? Or if I'm bringing something out of the house to my car, they'll say, well, Gigi, let us go. And now they will call me Gigi because that's my name for them. But they'll say, can I help you bring that to your car? Or they'll say, no, leave that, Gigi. I'll carry it for you. So her kids are very, very respectful. And I've never asked them to do something that they've said no, if they could do it. So yeah, that's true. So how did you determine to raise your kids like that?
I just think it's natural to just love people. So I want them to love people.
Okay. And you think being respectful is showing love for people? Okay, well,
Even to strangers, they'll go out of their way to grab bags or help, especially elderly. At church, when they see elderly sitting there by themselves, they go hang out with them and talk to them.
Did you hear she was saying that she wanted her kids to show love to people? And she was saying that at church, even when they see elderly people sitting by themselves, her kids will go over and sit next to them and start talking to them and engaging them in conversation and just visiting them for a little while when they see elderly people like that. So but it starts at home. Don't you think? It starts with home training. Either you pour that into your child or you don't. And if you don't, what can you say? You get what you get.
And you always show them love too.
I try. Yeah, I did. She says I always showed them love too, which I did. I tried to, be kind and loving to them, but that's because I loved you. So naturally I love them too, but, and it's easy to love sweet children that are not sweet. It's harder, but sweet children, it's very easy to love. Her kids are easy to love kids. They really are. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you about the likes. Candace says, I'm 70 and I reach out to others. When I can't reach, I ask a tall person to help me, or if something is heavy, I ask a buff guy to help me. A big smile and friendly approach really helps. It does. When I was trying and I realized, I just went over and asked two of the young workers, and they were more than happy to help, because I could see that no one, no one was, it's just people, I guess, I don't know. I guess kindness isn't a highly sought after or a highly taught virtue anymore, I guess. I don't know. Linda says people have lost their compassion. I think so. I think people are so self-focused. What do you think, Liz? That people are just self-focused?
Yeah. Or with that generation, they're in their phones all the time.
Yeah. My goddaughter was saying that generation is constantly just in their phones. So they're just focused on their phones and their things, and they're just they block everything else out. So, I mean, how many times have you seen these young people crossing a street looking at their phone?
There's no reverence for the elderly anymore.
No, that's what I'm doing a video on. She was saying there's no reverence for elderly anymore, and that's what I'm doing a video on Monday. I've been working on it, and I was going to do it today, but it's too late to post it today. But check Monday, because I'm going to do this video. This needs to be said. It needs to be heard, and it needs to be changed. Graham says, I was working on a farm in the middle of nowhere when I was a young bloke, and the old fellow I was working with had a stroke and died. You would never know he had kids, but 22 rocked up hoping for money. Isn't that something? So all the time you were there working with him, the kids forgot about him until he passed and they were looking for a handout. That's sad, but such a true fact, Denise says, 65 years old, and there are times when I don't feel peoply. I know there's times when we don't feel peoply. I agree. Lindy says, yes, Candace, I do the same. Many times people do see me struggling and offer. Yeah, sometimes people do offer, but equal number of times people don't. Or I would say people don't offer more than they do. There are occasionally people who do, but more often they don't, Teresa say, Vaughn, that is just terrible. Vaughn said, Candace, I'm kind of tall. I've offered to help many seniors that couldn't reach stuff high on a shelf. And that's such a kind thing to do, Vaughn. It really is. But you were raised right, and you have compassion in your heart for others. Candace says, I'm sure to thank them and praise them for their kindness. Absolutely. Sometimes a little kid, I've had that, will open the door for me, or as I'm coming up and they're going through it, they'll see me and they'll stop and they'll hold the door. I will always make sure to make a big deal of it. I will say, well, you certainly are a fine young man, aren't you? I appreciate that. Oh, your parents would be so proud of you. And they're just smiling and beaming because you want to, acknowledge that and encourage that. But also that that's a kid whose parents have poured into them, didn't just let them grow like weeds, but actually poured into them. Teresa says, well, Carol, 50 when adopting your daughter. Yeah. Now I feel I have some kind of hope. I have no children and never been married. My daughter is actually my great niece, but I'm going to tell you, Teresa, there is hope out there if that's your path that you want to take. There's so many children that need homes. There's so many. And, this was 23 years ago. And at that point they were trying, the social worker, well, we have a family who wants to, and that would be better. I said, sorry, but I'm a family member and I trump non-relatives. I'm higher on the food chain. And she didn't even tell people I had called until I called back 6 weeks later to find out why I hadn't heard anything. But Teresa, I'm just going to encourage you, if you do, maybe be a foster parent first with that age group. There are a lot of foster to adopt. There are children that are in foster care who have been released for adoption. So there's a lot of kids out there who need someone. So doesn't matter whether you're married, not married, what have you, as long as you have love to give to a child who would benefit from it. Sorry, I hit the bottom thing and I kicked you all out. Sorry, folks. I have to keep my hands right over here and not touch anything, okay? Catherine says, Denise, that is good. Good neighbors are hard to come by. Who? Hold on, let me come up here. When I kicked myself out, I lost a lot of comments. So I've got to get back here and see where it was. Vaughn said, Denise, I don't feel people pretty often. Yeah, sometimes you have those days, when I love sometimes to just sit in the corner, tuck myself in the corner of my sofa or a seat, or if I'm in the van, and just sit down and read a good book. That's one of my favorite things to do. Sheila says, it was great. Another one next weekend. Oh my goodness. So I know Lulu is famous for having wonderful meetups, Sheila. Candace says, if I waited to ask, 70 more years could go by. That is so true. Lindy says, Vaughn, you got us. We all love you, moderators. Thank you for all you do. Absolutely. I have the best moderators. Oh my goodness. Candace says, it pays to be friendly. That's true. The Bible says if you want to have friends, you need to show yourself friendly. I forget what verse that is, but it's in the Bible. It says, let me see. I'll look it up, but you can look it up. If you just look up, show yourself friendly in the Bible, it'll show you the verse that says you have to be friendly if you want friends. Denise says, my stepson makes jokes about putting us in a nursing home. Somehow I'm not laughing. That's not funny. No, that is not funny, Denise, because, here's what I have found, and I'm sure you all have found the same thing. Often people will hide behind jokes to say what they really feel. They don't have the courage to come out and say what they're thinking, so they'll say it and pretend it's a joke when it's really what they're thinking. So I would watch that sucker, Denise. Sorry for calling your stepson a sucker, but I would watch him if he's making comments like that. And I would tell him, you know what? You may find that funny, but I don't find that appealing. And I'm going to take steps to make sure I never have to rely on you. And you know what? Yeah, because I don't, it's not even me that he's saying that about, Denise, and I don't find it the least bit funny. Muskegee says, Thomas Rock, some, not all, talking about Gen X. Vaughn is telling Lindy, thank you. Denise said, I heard you, Vaughn's. Muskegee Land says, the Gen X state, seriously, yeah. Lindy says, I saw that, Carol. She was a bully. Oh, I tell you, yeah. Vaughn says, yes, the father made the bully shave her head too. Really? Wow. You know what? I'm all for it. You know what? Maybe if people could get a good understanding of how it feels to be in someone else's shoes, they would think twice before treating them a certain kind of way, Martin says, I see too many parents give little ones electronics in the grocery cart. Yeah, Jessica was very upset because I didn't let her, she didn't have a phone. How old was Jessica when she got a phone? 18? Yeah. Liz is saying, oh yeah, she was older. Yeah, she was about 18 and she only got it because one of my brothers gave her one for Christmas. But yeah, I did not, and then the way things turned out, because we were in a store one day, it was in a CVS or something, and Jessica was complaining to the clerk, who was a young woman, and she said, yeah, everyone in the world has a phone except me, and my mom says I can't have one until I'm 18, and the clerk girl behind Jessica thought she was going to say, oh yeah, that's terrible, oh, who does that? And the girl said, yeah, my mom didn't let me have one either. So, I know what you feel like, but hey, it worked out fine for me. I was like, yes, God, you was to put this kid in this spot for us today. So, so after that, it kind of, yeah, Vons, we got the point. Catherine says, also, when I hand a tip at drive-through coffee place, some of them don't say thank you anymore. Then I wouldn't give a tip next time, Yeah, that's the sense. One thing about the younger generation that I found is such a remarkable sense of entitlement, like they're owed something. They're not owed, none of us are owed anything other than being paid for what we do and being paid for our performance, but we're not owed something. Teresa says, Gen Z, poor if not lacking in social skills. I'm 57. I think I'm Gen X. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Jacqueline. Another member in the house here. Soft white underbelly. Yes. Okay. See you later, Lindy. Thanks for popping in. And actually, we're getting ready. It's 4:00, so I'm going to need to get off. Teresa said, that's beautiful. Definitely starts at home. It does. It does. Teresa says, we're the feral, the feral generation. Oh my goodness. That's true. They're indifferent. I think overt, I think being ignored or being someone treating you as though they're indifferent to you, I think that's actually almost worse than outward cruelty, because it says, it just says so much, Patty says, yes, my kids as teens, young adults have jumped in to help an elder, sat by them in a restaurant and talked to them politely. Well, you raised them right. You get the product of what you put in. Jacqueline says it's called living in a van at 80 years old, Lindy, and has 97,000 views at this time. Yes, yeah, 97,000 views in just one day. Wow. It's going to go. I told Lindy, I said, I think it's going to get 1 million views. That's what I told her. So we'll see if I'm right or not, but I think so. At that rate, 100,000 in one day, I think it could easily go to 1 million views, but we'll see. Are driving at their phones. Oh, driving, looking at their phones. Yep. Vaughn says, I think we have a self-absorbed and outrageous sense of entitlement issue nowadays. We absolutely, Vaughn, absolutely. Catherine says, bingo, Vaughn. Teresa says, Vaughn, if we got hurt or scraped in, don't cry, put a Band-Aid and over it. We don't need a participation award. Yes, there was such a thing as first place, second, and so on. Yeah, I really, yeah. So what you're saying is just being there is enough to be rewarded. And I'm saying, no, you have to not just be there, you have to put in effort. And people who put in the most effort, who prepare, should be rewarded. Yeah, you can be acknowledged for participating, but there should still be a reward that distinguishes between someone who did an outstanding job, put in the effort, trained, worked, studied, what have you, and people who didn't. There should be a distinct difference. That's just my opinion. Denise says, since my husband's medical issues, our neighbors are very helpful, shoveling snow, mowing the yard, and one of them has a little girl who brought flowers for my husband. Oh, wow. We don't tend to have that anymore, except for my best friend in Chicago area. Her neighbors come, she's 83. Her neighbors come over and keep her driveway snow shoveled. They keep her back porch shoveled. And at least once a week or a few times a month, at least one of them will bring her dinner. Or when they go out, they'll call her and say, we're picking up something. What would you like? And they'll bring her dinner. So there are a few, but it's further and further in between where you have communities like that. That's why I wanted to build a community, a small one, but one that will have that sense of community. Miss Nett says, Vaughn, the sense of entitlement is unreal. Oh, yeah, it is unreal with some of these young folks. What does it come from, do you think? What? Don says, you're exactly correct, Vaughn. Entitlement is how a good many people act nowadays. So true. Linda says kids are a reflection of their parents. Often, but I have to say some of the things that my kid does are not a reflection of me. Now, some of the things he does are a reflection of me, but some of them, no, I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it came from. Honestly, I really just, because I sit and I'm just like, how did that come out of her? Yeah. So, yeah, often, but not always, Linda. I can tell you that out of experience. Vaughn says, Teresa, we're definitely the same generation. Catherine says, Denise, that is good. Neighbors are hard to, yeah, they are. They are. I know I need to keep my hands away from the keyboard. Anne Marie says, yes, Carol, you right. Foster care first, and you can adopt through them. My brother and his wife adopted 3 little boys, all brothers. Oh, how sweet and kind. Oh my goodness. Wow. All right. Yeah. Hey, Lucretia, one of my mods too. Yeah, I have great moderators. Hey, yes, Catherine, I do. And I love them, love them, love them. All right. Well, folks, I am getting out of here. Where'd Mowgli go? Liz?
She put Charlie in my room.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, folks. Denise says, Catherine, we count our blessings every day when we get snowed in and neighbors snow blowed our driveway so he could get to his medical appointments. Oh, that is a blessing. That truly is a blessing. And what is a wonderful thing is that you recognize, Denise, that it's a blessing and acknowledge that. Yes, Lucretia, I'm glad to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Jean Bauer says, Shady Pine's mom. Shady Pine's mom. That went right over my head. Sorry, Jean. Sometimes I'm slow in the draw here. Teresa said, I'm just heartbroken to hear that. Please be careful. To Denise. Yes, be very careful, Denise. And I hope your husband does have a full recovery, a full. Denise said, no problem. I'm going to hire an elder attorney to make sure that doesn't happen. Yes, Denise, absolutely. And there are ombudsmen. There are also through social services. There are geriatric specialists that can refer you to ways to do a trust and different things where you can do a revocable trust where you have control and you can make modifications, but absolutely protect yourself, because if he's saying that, your stepson is saying that, that's exactly what he plans to do. He's given that. That thought wouldn't have come into his mind. It wouldn't have come out of his mouth if that's not what he's thinking about doing. So yeah, absolutely. Absolutely protect yourself. Vaughn says, Nora, why are you confused? Yeah, Nora, why are you confused? I'm confused why you're confused. Denise says, no problem. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Candace says, Jesus commands us to love one another. I love people. That's a very good thing, Candace. That's the number 2 commandment. First is to love God with all your heart. The second is your neighbor. So those are the 2 highest priority commandments. So God thought pretty highly of that to put him up so high. Nora says, we're just joking. Vaughn says, Candace, I need to love them from afar sometimes. Yep. And Lucretia says, Candace, that's true. And he also had some boundaries. Yeah. There's a couple of books on boundaries for parents, boundaries for other people, but there are a couple of books by an author on boundaries that are excellent books on setting boundaries. Sylvie says, yes, some people act like we are taking up space. Exactly. That we're just taking up space, doing nothing of value, and nothing could be further from the truth. Lucretia says that's sort of spiritual abuse. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks. I'm glad you did, Catherine. Hey, Violet says, hey there, Carol and family. Just stopping through before I go shopping. I have to watch the stream when I get back. Have a lovely week, everyone. Yes, everyone. Love each and every one of you. And I'm going to get out of here. Oh my gosh, the traffic going home. I have a little drive. Is going to be horrific. So I'm going to start now so I can drive slow and not stress out about it. Jinx McGee says, love the Lava Lindy interview and the photo was amazing. Wasn't that? But the person who does that channel, that was his profession, being a photographer. So he does very compelling photographs and very poignant, heart grasping photographs. So yeah, that was a very compelling photograph that he did. It really was. Lucretia says, Teresa, I disdain participation awards. They weaken people. Absolutely. Absolutely. They don't prepare you for life and they give you a false narrative of what life is going to be about. Jackie says, I always call the WW2 generation Mr. and Mrs. Yes, absolutely. And even after that, sometimes. Nora says, I need to leave, so there's direct link to my art shop. I hope you take a peek. All right, folks, do go over and check out Nora's link on Artworks by Nora Cake on Etsy. Oh, here. And Mowgli is going to say goodbye. Going to want to say goodbye, Mowgli, to everyone. He said, he's giving the side eye. Did you see him give a side eye? He's like, oh, Mowgli, you are going to be such a, and I took him on a long drive today, an hour and 20 minutes each way. And guess what? He's perfect in the van.
Oh, he liked it?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what I did. I had him in a laundry basket, a tall laundry basket. No, he was trying to crawl out. But I had the towel on the bottom, which he wet. So thank goodness I had it in the bottom. And then I had the laundry basket strapped in with the seatbelt. But he wasn't like sick, or he was finally just, when he realized he couldn't climb out, he just laid down on the towel and said, oh, forget it. But he's going to be a great van dog. You're going to be a great van dog, Mowgli. Some people have dogs who get sick in the car. I was like, please don't let him be that kind of dog. Please, please, please. He was meant for me. He didn't love being in the laundry basket, but he was good in the van. He was like, so he's going to get used to, he's going to be a van dog. Jackie said, I had a man at Walmart put my 32-pack water in my car. He offered. Oh, that was kind. That was really kind. Yes, everyone, have a great weekend. And if there's anyone who has a channel that yes, absolutely, Stella, take care and watch out for one another. Absolutely. Jean Bauer says, the Golden Girls when Dorothy would threaten Sophia. Oh, my goodness. Shady Pines' mom. Shady Pines, it was a nursing home. Okay, Jean. All right, well, folks, I know I'm going to miss some. My email, Nisi, is Glorious Life on Wheels, just my channel, at gmail.com. So you could email me a question there. I probably won't get till at least Monday because I don't do business on Sundays, and I've got plans the rest of this evening. So it'll be probably, yes. He has puppy breath, strong puppy breath, But anyone who has a channel that wants to be acknowledged. Hey, Billy Clover, hello. I know he's gotten big, hasn't he? Put a big C down there so I can acknowledge you. And anyone who's first time in the house, could you put a number 1 so we can, how we do, Globies, we say hello to our newbies, our newbie Globies. And do check Monday. I have a video again coming up on this subject of senior disrespect and why, the reasons why I think, reasons what other people think, and a few things that you can do. But it's a good series. I think you'll really enjoy it. So yes, he's so good. Look at him. He's so calm. You want to get down, huh? You want to get down? Okay. I'll let you down. He goes, I want to get down, Mommy. and run around. Okay, you can get down and run around. All right. Well, folks, I will. Let's see. Anyone? Yeah, he is, isn't he? Max, he's cute. Max Nix. Yeah, he is adorable. All right. Well, I don't see anyone, any number ones who want to be acknowledged or C for content creators. So I'm going to head on out, but go over and check out Nora's channel on Etsy, Nora Cake, and oh my gosh, beautiful artwork. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I will see you guys next Saturday and having a lot. I'm thinking of doing a month, maybe April, where I consider doing, I don't know. I was going to say doing a video every day, but I don't know if I can get that done, but we'll see. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. All right. Love each and every one of you. Go over and check out my last video. It was so much fun to do. These dioramas that this guy, JW, who's 79, built and put all in his van. It's just so cool. But again, interesting tours coming up next week too. Lots of stuff coming up. I will see you next time. Love each and every one of you. May your journeys be filled with joy and blessings. And I will see you next week, same time. Stay tuned. All right. All right. Let me see if I can